Have you ever seen a tree pop a champagne bottle or maybe blow the shofar? Think about it. This coming Sunday night and Monday is Tu B'Shvat, the 15th of Shvat, known as the New Year for trees. What does it mean a New Year for trees? How does trees celebrate the New Year? What does it mean, the whole idea of a New Year for trees? So let's explain first of all what the meaning of the word, the name of the day, Tu B'Shvat. Shvat is the Hebrew month that we're in now, and the word Tu is the way you would read two letters in the Hebrew alphabet, Tet and Vav, which would spell out, if written as a word, Tu. Now Tet and Vav, each letter in the Hebrew alphabet has a numerical value. Tet and Vav together is 15. So Tu B'Shvat is the 15th day of the month. In Talmudic terms, the word is used as Chamisha Asar B'Shvat, the 15th of Shvat. But more recently, in our generation, maybe a couple of generations ago, the term was coined Tu B'Shvat. On the 15th day of Shvat is the New Year for trees. What does that mean? So the Talmud tells us that there are 4 New Years in the Jewish calendar. The first one is Rosh Hashanah. Everybody knows about Rosh Hashanah. Then there is a New Year on Nisan, the first day of the month of Nisan. That is the beginning of the year for months. Because even though the world was created in Tishrei, that's the beginning of the year for the years, but in months, the first month is the month of Nisan. I have actually talked about this a few times, about this paradox that we have at the beginning of the year in the 7th month of the year. I'm not going to talk about that now, but that is the way it is. The month of Nisan is also considered the New Year for kings, which means that when you count the years of a reign of a king, how many years has it been reigning? So, beginning of the month of Nisan is the beginning of the year. So, if let's say he became the king 2 days before Nisan, on Nisan 1 he's now into his 2nd year of reigning. Then there are 2 more New Years, Rosh Hashanahs. One is for Maser Behema, meaning the tithe of animals. Any farmer in Israel who had animals kosher animals, needed every year to take those animals together and take a tenth of them and separate a tenth of them. That's a tithe called Maser Behema, and he would take those animals to Jerusalem and eat them to be eaten in Jerusalem. Now, every year the animals had to be separated, and the year of each animal, the animals of each year had to be tied separately. That cutoff date for that was, according to the majority opinion in the Talmud, was the first day of Elul. So the first day of Elul is the new year for Maser Behema, for the tithe of the animals. Shvat, Tu B'Shvat, is according to Beit Hillel's opinion, the opinion that we follow. That is the new year for trees, meaning that when we tithe fruits, so when the produce grows and the fruit grows, so the produce of the year of each year has to be tithed together, and certain parts of it given to the Kohen, certain parts of the Levi, etc. So the cycle of the year begins on the 15th of Shvat for fruit. For grains, it starts on Rosh Hashanah. So the cycle of the year is the cutoff is on Rosh Hashanah. But for fruits, it's on the 15th of Shvat. Of course, if you think about it, surrounding the idea of tithing the fruit. Now, what is the spiritual significance of Tu B'Shvat? There is mystical meaning and why we ourselves celebrate this day, more than just recognizing, this is a non-agriculture society we live in now, so we don't have that cycle of growth of produce and giving and tithing, at least not outside of Israel, but yet we celebrate this because there's a mystical meaning. There are actually many mystical meanings, and I want to just talk about 2. The difference between grain and fruit is that grain is considered a staple of life. Everybody needs to eat grain. I know there are people who are gluten-free, but generally, grain is the staple of life. Bread is the staple of life. Fruit, on the other hand, is not something that we need for life. But fruit adds flavor, fruit adds taste and pleasure in eating. Spiritually speaking, grain therefore means the basic observance of Torah, studying Torah, observing the mitzvot, and doing it as a necessity. It is a necessity for us as Jews to follow the Torah. It's a necessity for every person to live a purposeful life, a life that is following a mission, fulfilling our mission on earth, and therefore we have to do it. And that's like grain. That's the idea of Rosh Hashanah. But Tu B'Shvat tells us it's not enough. We need to bring excitement to what we do. And we shouldn't just do it just because we have to. If we study Torah properly, especially the inner part of the Torah, the secrets of the Torah that tell us the deeper meanings of all the mitzvot, we will realize the impact of every mitzvah that we do and how it fulfills the purpose of creation, how it connects us to our Creator, how it elevates us, how it gives us purpose in life, etc. All the many things we learn about the value of doing a mitzvah. This will bring us to actually enjoying and getting excited about the mitzvah. And that is the message of Tu B'Shvat, not just to do the mitzvah out of rote or because they're necessary. More than that, of course that's true, but more than that, to bring pleasure and excitement into the mitzvah. There's another lesson that I heard recently. This is attributed to Rabbi Israel of Ruzhin, Rabbi Israel of Ruzhin, known as the Ruzhiner, the Heilige, the Holy Ruzhiner Rebbe. He was one of the great Hasidic leaders of all time. And he talked about the idea of Tu B'Shvat. It's winter time. If you look at the trees, there are no leaves on the trees, there's no growth on the trees. If you look at the tree, it looks like there's no life in the tree. But we know that the tree is absorbing the rains of the winter. The sap now is beginning already to fill the tree. And very soon we'll begin to see a little bit of growth. Here in California, by February 15th already, we begin to see buds on the trees. And this is a message to us about the Jewish people in general and about each of us individually. The Jewish people have gone through some very difficult times, and sometimes it seems as if there's not much positivity, there's not much life. But we always know that Hashem is there with us. The soul of the Jewish people is always alive. And always we come back to life and we come back to flourish. And as an individual, if we look at a person and sometimes see that we don't see them having a lot of spiritual life or a lot of excitement in life, we need to know that deep down their soul is there and they're full of sap and full of life really. And with proper work and with proper encouragement, every one of us can come back to life and produce fruit which become very pleasurable, bring pleasure to the world, bring pleasure to us and bring pleasure to others. The ultimate enjoyment of life will happen when Mashiach comes. Mashiach will bring great pleasure to life in the world, spiritual pleasure to life in the world, and we're looking forward to that to happen very soon. Happy Tu B'Shvat.